everyone, Niev here, and we are on the next part of this deep dive of the Pacific Northwest Tarot, and here is the bag for it that I made. All right, so inside we've got our deck here, and today we are doing the 9s and the 10s. So, and I believe I already put the cards on the top. I'm not 100% sure though. I'll have to look because I think I set it up yesterday before I did this. And here's the book for it. All right, so let me see. Yes, we have the 9s here. All right, so we've got the 9 of Wands, the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Swords, there we go, and the 9 of Pentacles. And then we have the 10 of Wands. I think I'm in frame. I'm not sure. Let me do this. There we go. 10 of Wands. Oops. 10 of Cups. Right next to the camera. Sorry. 10 of Swords and 10 of Pentacles. All right. So now we are going to do the 9s here. I'm just going to set these to the side here. All right. The 9s. So 9 for me, there's a fruition energy to this, but it's also it's kind of a very spiritual number for me, and I'm kind of getting into numerology here. I mean, we've kind of been doing numerology for each of these, but 9 for me is kind of an ultimate spiritual number, as far as spirituality or numerology goes, because it's a very high vibrational number, and I think of it as far as, you know, any number that's multiplied by 9, you can reduce that number down to 9. So it's a very, I don't know, maybe important is the word I'm looking for. It's an important number. It's a number of magic, of like, you know, I think of the witch's ladder and tying 9 knots. When I do spell work, a lot of times I'm repeating something 9 times. 9 is just one of those numbers that is a very spiritual number. Kind of like the number 3, which also 3 by 3 is 9. You know, so there's a lot of magic to the number 9 in my mind. So how does that translate to the cards here? Well, the 9s of both Cups and Pentacles are very positive cards. Like, we have kind of an overabundance here in the 9 of Cups. Very, in fact, I sort of think, even though Cups is generally an emotion sort of suit, and Pentacles is the money suit often, I actually think of the 9 of Cups as being kind of that luxurious, having a lot of money, being very wealthy, maybe having, you know, more than you need even. So very, very successful sort of energy that I get from the 9 of Cups. And the symbolism here with the pearl, I mean, pearls are very sought after. They're very, a symbol of wealth, of having plenty, things like that. So I think this depicts that very well. But I actually have a very monetary view of the 9 of Cups, oddly enough. And I will often use the 9 of Cups if I'm doing spell work, money spell work and things like that. I will often use the 9 of Cups in that, even though it's more of a emotive suit. And then it's the same thing. We get a lot of that same energy with the 9 of Pentacles. This is the bounty, you know, things have produced. With the 9 of Pentacles, like with the 9 of Cups, I almost feel like this is something that we've been blessed with. Like, we've been lucky or privileged to get this, you know, something like that. You know, the 9 of Cups also sort of makes me think of privilege. Like, it's something that's just been given to someone, maybe not necessarily earned, but not that that's a bad thing. Just if you're very lucky in life, it's a high luck kind of energy that I get from the Nine of Cups. Whereas the Nine of Pentacles, I feel like there's some work that was put into it. Yeah, we're seeing those fruits of our labors. The going from the Eight of Pentacles, where we were working very hard. The Seven of Pentacles is pretty similar to the Nine of Pentacles, but with the Seven of Pentacles, we're starting to see those fruits, the fruits of our labors being produced here, but there's still a waiting energy with the Seven of Pentacles. Whereas with the Nine of Pentacles, it's right after that hard work of the Eight that we're seeing the fruits of our labors. So, this is money we've earned through our hard work, whereas this is what we've earned, what we've gotten through luck or through, and not necessarily no work was done to receive this, but there's a level of privilege and luck with the Nine of Cups, I think. So the Wands and Swords are quite a bit different than this. Yeah, and that seems to be the case throughout the minors. Cups and Pentacles tend to be a little bit more positive, whereas we see more challenges in the Wands and the Swords. Now with the Wands, like I've said before, and I got this phrase from Tarot Oracle on YouTube here, but he calls us the wounded warrior. And when I heard him say that, it's like, it was just the perfect phrase, I think, for the Nine of Wands here. Now here we see we see a porcupine here. So a porcupine is causing that pain for someone else. But I mean, it did it out of instinct, out of it was being attacked. So it defended itself, and, it's just covered in these pines, that porcupine. And it's like, to touch a porcupine is to be wounded by it. So I get the imagery here. We're seeing a bit more of an offensive energy here, which can happen when a porcupine is being attacked. It goes on the offense, and it's the wounded warrior, but it's really what caused the wound for someone else, I think. But yeah, we've got that energy here with the Nine of Wands, and with the nine. Excuse me, sorry about that. Talking sometimes causes my throat to dry out. But the Nine of Swords is a lot more of an anxiety, and we see this snake sort of coiled underneath its cave, and maybe it's retreating from something. It's where the Nine of Wands is very offensive. The Nine of Swords is and not even defensive, but sort of retreating. It's retreating from that, and it's a card of anxiety, and anxiety is like the biggest keyword that I would put with the Nine of Swords. There's an anxious energy about this, and I don't know that I fully see the Nine of Swords depicted here with this card. I'll have to read the book a little bit and see what the book says. But yeah, so that's a basic rundown of the four nines here. So the Nine of Wands first. All right, so we have the North American porcupine. Injury, resilience, survival. That's a good one. Perseverance, fatigue. And we get fatigue with both the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Swords. Like, yeah, the Nine of Wands is the wounded warrior, but it's also just tired of fighting. You know what I mean? And we get that energy with both of the Wands and the Swords here. So a last stand, achieving victory at all costs, at a cost, achieving victory at a cost. So yeah, for sure. All right, so the Nine of Cups, let's find that. We got the 10 of Cups there. All right, Nine of Cups. The Pacific Oyster. Success, satisfaction, wish fulfilled. Yeah, it is a wish fulfillment sort of card. Achievement, pleasure, gratitude. It is pleasures for sure, with the The Devil card, it's kind of those insidious pleasures, and maybe the Nine of Cups to an extreme would lead us to this hedonistic lifestyle of the Devil card for sure. So, success, satisfaction, wish fulfilled, achievement, pleasure, gratitude. Yes, definitely. All right, the 9 of Swords. 6 of Swords, 7, 8, 9. All right, so this is the Northern Pacific rattlesnake, and this is definitely an animal that I am familiar with, having grown up in the high desert in Southern California. Yeah, there's I grew up in the Mojave Desert, and that being said too, I would love to see a deck like this, but for the desert. And maybe someday, maybe I'll make one. I don't know. Making a tarot deck seems like a lot of work, though. That's a lot of artwork. But like, yeah, I would love to see a desert-themed tarot deck, and not one that's like really Native American, because that would be my hesitation, creating a deck that's desert themed, because there is a lot of that Native American vibe in the desert, which is excellent. But at the same time, since I'm not Native American, I don't want to be culturally appropriative, So I think a deck that celebrates that area, that climate, in a way that this one does. So like an animal or nature deck that's desert themed. I would love that. If you know of one, put it in the comments, and I will definitely check it out. Anyway, so the 9 of Swords is anxiety and all that. So yeah, anxiety is the first word they said here. Anxiety, isolation, fear, despair, paranoia. That's a good one. Nightmares, haunted by past trauma. Yes. So, and we get that overabundance too with all of these cards. I think with the 9 of Pentacles, less so. We get an abundance, and even with the cups here, all of these cards have to do with an abundance, but it's how that's manifesting. With both the wands and the swords, it's an overabundance. With the cups, there's a risk of being overabundant or having too much. With the pentacles, though, I think there's really just the fruits of our labors. There's an abundance there, but it's it's a deserved abundance, if that makes sense. Anyway, so yeah, haunted by past trauma is a great one there. So 9 of Pentacles. I need to speed this up a bit because I think I'm I'm using a lot of time here on the 9s. So this is Rainier Cherries. Luxury, that's also a card that I would put with this one. Abundance, plenty, achievement, hard work paid off, a walled garden. So yeah, I definitely get that here. This is kind of an earned abundance, whereas the earned luxury, whereas this is a lucky or inheritance even, or yeah, I feel like the 9 of Cups has more of that privilege energy, whereas the 9 of Pentacles is a more earned energy, if that makes sense. Not that either is good, better, or worse, or, it's just the energy that I get from it. All right, so now the 10s, and I need to hurry up here because I spent a long time on those 9s. 10 of Wands, 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles. All right, and I love the 10 of Pentacles. This is the completion. It's a cycle coming to an end, which makes sense for the 10s. Yeah, so it's all of those energies kind of culminating and coming to an end, whether that's a good end or a negative end, or things that have really built up at this point. Because with the 10 of Wands, it's that over-encumbered energy. Your pack is overfilled. Everything has happened, and there's a lot on your shoulders. And this animal here, some sort of moose, or, well, not a moose, but like gosh, I gotta look this up to see what this is. This is elk. Yeah, I knew it wasn't a moose. It was like, I was trying to think of but elk was what I was trying, Rocky Mountain elk. So yeah, there's a lot of energy, just there's a lot of responsibilities, or there's a lot happening. There's a lot is two words that I would describe all these cards. There's a lot going on. And with the 10 of Wands, like this is the one that is the least, you know, the least finished, I think, as all these cards are. Like we've got both, again, with the cups and the pentacles, those happy ending sort of feelings here. Of course, life goes on and stuff, and there's it's a cycle, so it continues. But with the cups and the pentacles, we get that happy ending sort of energy. With the 10 of Swords, obviously that's a not happy ending. In my mind, this is the most challenging card of the entire deck, the 10 of Swords, because it's hitting rock bottom, and that's how I see it. And it's really perfectly illustrated here by this dead corpse here. I mean, it's just bones here. And in fact, this is actually pretty dark even for the 10 of Swords, because with the 10 of Swords, there is that glimmer of hope of like, you've hit rock bottom, so there's nowhere else to go but up. But in this card, it's even darker, I think, because I mean, this animal is straight up dead, and it's completely barren out here. There's not even meat left on this for other creatures to sustain itself. Like, this is a pretty dark card, and probably, I think, one of the darker depictions of the 10 of Swords, even though this is a rather light looking card and a rather light looking deck in general. There's just like, pulling this card, I would think, in a reading would be a really tough time. And I'm not saying that there isn't positive beyond this, because these bones can still be used for things. There is still a glimmer of hope and a cycle of life sort of energy with this, but I would definitely say that this depiction of the 10 of Swords is quite dark in my mind. There's very little hope here. There is still usefulness, but there's very little hope here. But anyway, so, and again, with the Wands and the Swords, they're the more challenging of the four cards here. The 10 of Wands, like, there's a lot of responsibility and obligation and things like that, but there's still, like, there's a hardworking aspect to this. The 10 of Wands, to me, is not necessarily a negative or challenging card. There's challenges to it, of course, and there might be a lesson in lightening your load or something like that. But it's a challenging card, but it's nowhere near as negative as a 10 of Swords in general for me. So let's see what it says. It says burden, duty, obligation, yep, stress, success leading to responsibility. So yeah, I could see that. We've reached a successful moment, but that success has brought more responsibilities. Yeah, for sure. So success leading to responsibility, or burnout. Burnout's a good keyword for that, for sure. All right, and then with the 10 of Cups, this is a happy family. This is a happy, successful family. They want for nothing. Yeah, so this is violet green swallows. So homecoming. Oh yes, like a homecoming, a reunion sort of energy, which is also like the 4 of Wands. The 4 of Wands is also a reunions sort of, or celebrations or weddings kind of card. So homecoming, happiness, family, stability, domesticity, the culmination of a journey or relationship, like super happy family. I see with the 10 of Cups, and I think it's very well illustrated here with the imagery. 10 of Swords, like we said, is quite a dark card. So this is a bighorn sheep. Failure, ruin, loss, exhaustion and collapse, despair, bitterness, betrayal. Yeah, for sure. There's not much else to say with that. For me, my key phrase with the 10 of Swords is rock bottom. Things have just hit the worst that they could get, which there's hope in that. When things hit rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go but up, like I said before. And so that's the positive that I always see in the 10 of Swords. that said, it is, to me, the most challenging card as far as situations go in the deck. And this particular depiction is pretty grim. All right, so the Ten of Pentacles. I love this card, especially this depiction, because the thing about me, I am a genealogist. As it's not really a career because it's not something I really get paid for, but one of my hobbies is genetic genealogy, and that's using DNA to uncover family tree stuff like that. So this, to me, straight up family tree, which really does a great depiction of what the Ten of Pentacles signifies. It signifies a legacy. It signifies what you're leaving behind. You've gotten to this fortunate place, and it's more of what you're leaving behind for your loved ones, for your friends, your family. Yeah, it is almost a card of moving on spiritually, because we could think of it like what you're leaving behind once you leave once you go to an afterlife or something like that. Or it's but it's you've reached a place that you're very fortunate in life. It is very positive, it's like a happy family. Both of these cards are very family oriented. But it's that legacy you're leaving behind, or that legacy. Maybe you're still in that legacy, but you're still and you're still producing this great. I just keep saying legacy over and over again, but this, it's a success, or the roots. Yeah. All right. So the Ten of Pentacles, this is a Coast Redwood. Here's the Redwood. I kept thinking the Tower card was a Redwood, but it was a Douglas Fir. It really looks like a Redwood, though, that card. But this is the Redwood here. So the Coast Redwood. Legacy, yeah. Stability, security. Those are great. Sustained success. So it's reached success, but this is a success that is very stable, and it's going to be sustained. Foundations, you've built those foundations, those roots, inheritance, wealth. So here's, I was kind of saying the Nine of Cups is like an inheritance. It's like money or wealth or success or something that maybe you sort of lucked into, or was given to you, or there's a privilege surrounding that. And there is a sense of privilege with the Ten of Pentacles as well, because there is that inheritance level to it. And wealth. So very good, successful wealth. So I think, so when I do, sort of money spells, I think the two cards that I often go to are the Nine of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles, because, really I could use the 9 or 10 of either the Cups or the Pentacles, and I would use any of them. But if I'm focusing more on our family wealth or things like that, then I might use the Ten of Pentacles here. If I'm looking for something a bit more on the luck side, or some I don't know, something like that, then I might go with the Nine of Cups, something like that. But anyway, so now let's do the readings with the deck. I'm going to pause and shuffle the cards here. Okay, I've shuffled this a bunch. I'm going to do one more little shuffle here. All right. So, 9 of Wands, and I'm going to try to hurry up because I'm trying to keep these under 40 minutes, and I think I'm going to have some trouble meeting that mark this time. All right, 5 of Swords. Whew, with the 9 of Wands. So there's a big argument going on here. And oh my gosh, there's a bad situation going on here. Like, there's a big argument. Someone won, but at a big cost here. Someone's definitely wounded and hurt. And there's a betrayal. I mean, there's not much else to read here. This was a big argument that happened and left with feelings of betrayal, and someone feeling smug and like they won, but the cost was that they deeply hurt their partner, and there's a feeling of betrayal. Yeah, I mean, that was a tough read. All right. So now we have the Six of Pentacles with the Nine of Cups. So there's a sort of charity aspect to this. You got lucked into getting some help. Maybe having that a good support system. You're very lucky to have that support system, and it leads to a big celebration or a happy family or a stable situation here, or a celebration of some sort. So maybe getting, if we're thinking of this like a wedding, getting some money from future in-laws or something like that, that really helps secure a nice prosperous wedding here. So yeah, something like that. So there's a give energy here that that we're lucky to receive, that really resulted in a nice celebration. All right, so the Nine of Swords here, we got the Queen of Pentacles. Very interesting. Queen of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. So I get the feeling with this one that there's safety is the key word I'm looking at, is the energy I'm getting from this. It's like that Queen of Pentacles is a very nurturing energy, and this beaver here is building its dam. It's this is its safety wall, and we got that safe place here, and then just being very I don't know what the key word is that I'm thinking of here, but a sort of we've retreated, we're in a safe place, we're feeling comforted and in that place, but we're not wanting to open up yet or share. And yeah, so I mean, I think this is, if I read this, I would say this is a time to really go inward here, and that, like, to not take risks. I think that would be, this would be a time to not take risk. This would be a time to go to that safe place and get that inward help maybe, or to not really share, because a lot of times we're like, oh, open up, share, be more positive or whatever. And if I got this reading, and of course, like I said, this is completely without context, so it could, if it was in the context of a different reading, I could have a different interpretation of this. But this is like a feeling like now's not the time to open up. Now is the time to kind of retreat in, and to really look for that safe place. That safe place energy is a lot of what I'm getting from this. All right, so there we go. And the Nine of Pentacles, let's see. Ooh, Seven of Pentacles. I was just saying how these cards are very similar. And then the Knight of Swords. Wow. So I feel like this is that building energy. We're starting to see some fruits of our labors, and now we've seen it come to a fruition, and now's the time to act. Like the Knight of Swords is a fast-moving, like, action card, and like definitely speaking up now. Like we've bitten our tongue here. We've just kind of been getting our ducks in a row here and waiting for the right time. The right time has come. Like this is the right time. Now it's the time to speak, because swords are a communication sort of card. It's a little less actiony than the wand suit. However, the Knight of Swords is definitely an action card. So it's the most action of the swords we get here. But thinking of it in the context of words and communication and intelligence, things like that, I feel like we've taken that time to bite our tongue and to just get ducks in a row. Now they're in a row. We're seeing the fruits of our labor here, and now's the time to speak up. And now is the time to just go for it. Yeah. So yeah, that is what I would see there. All right, now we got the Ten of Wands. All right, the Hanged One with the Ten of Wands. And then we have the Hermit. Very interesting. So there's a couple ways I could have read this. With the hang one followed by the wands, I could read that as a we've been too lazy. Even we've not done what we needed to do, and now we're overburdened with tasks. But followed by the hermit, both of these cards really have that energy of patience and retreating, like that previous reading we had. There's both of these cards are kind of that retreating energy, whereas this card is overburdened. So I feel like because the Ten of Wands is surrounded by this energy of patience and retreating and things like that, I think there's sort of this encouragement to not take on too much. Because if it wasn't followed by the hermit here and maybe had a different card, I might think that we've started off in this sort of lazy position, or we were waiting for things to happen and then it happened all of a sudden, and now we're feeling overburdened. But with the hermit here, I don't know, I feel like this would be an encouragement to not take on too much. So there we go. Two different readings. Two different interpretations, but it was really dependent on what we were getting as that second card here. Well, yeah, there you go. All right, 10 of Cups. All right, so we've got the Empress. Wow, so very motherly energy. That'd be really funny if we got the Emperor on the other side, but we've got that nurturing, mothery energy, and then this going home to see mom sort of energy here. And then the Queen of Swords. Maybe we really are going home to see mom, but mom's got a sharp tongue. Maybe that is exactly what we're seeing here. We're going home to see our mother or mother type energy. Going home to see that, and we're very happy about it, and we're very happy to see mom. But mom does have a sharp tongue, and there's maybe there's only so much you can really take of mom there. and you're very happy to see her, but you're also going to be kind of happy to go. And maybe she also has some wise words for you too that are a bit tough to hear, but there's that level of comfort and nurturing energy. So yeah, I think we all have relationships like that with some of our parents or guardians, or I don't know, people in our lives that are wise, give us wise words, but there's only so much, and they always come from a great place, and they're sometimes it's great advice, but sometimes it can be a little hard to hear. So all right, so the 10 of Swords, the tough card in this deck, the World. Oof. Wow. And then that 6 of Cups. Wow. So I feel like maybe we've reached a point in our lives where maybe we've seen success, or we felt on top of the world, or we've gotten that, because the world to me is also seeing the bigger picture. It is a completion, a coming to an end, and that's definitely a completion here. But and maybe we're being knocked down from our pedestal or something like that, and we're just feeling at our lowest low. I don't know that I see this as a highest high and a lowest low, because it's not really that. Maybe we've done all this work, we've come to a place, and we feel like it's for nothing. We've gotten to a place where we stepped back, we saw the big picture, and we realized everything else we were doing along the way, just that it didn't change anything. And we've reached a lowest low, and that rock bottom energy, like I say with the 10 of Swords, that we've just crashed, we've collapsed, or the weight of the world has made us collapse, and we're retreating to a place. And retreat again, I keep saying that word with these readings, but we've come to a place where we really need that comfort of home. We need mom. We need mom to come here, and but we need more the comforting level, not so much the words of truth. We need that Empress comforting level of mom here, or a nurturing energy. We've got to leave this situation behind and just find that comfort, our safe place, like the other reading we saw before. Just that comforting level. I think this is a gosh, we've been really devastated here, and we just need mom. Not necessarily our actual mom, but like a motherly or nurturing energy here. That's definitely what I see here. All right. And by the way, I love this card. Not in general in decks, but in this deck particular, I really love the Six of Cups. All right, and now an awesome card here, this Legacy family tree here. The High Priestess. Maybe there's some secrets in our family tree, which, being a genetic genealogist and dealing with DNA, yeah, secrets definitely get revealed. So there's some hidden truths in that family tree, and it has caused a disruption for sure. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm a genealogist, but that is what I'm seeing here. There's some hidden info in this situation, this family tree, or this, not necessarily a family tree, but there's this stable situation. There's been some secrets, there's been some hidden truths here, and maybe the birds here are gossip. There's gossip about it, and I really see this Eight of Wands does a really good job connecting with the birds card in Lenormand. And it's not just because we see this flutter of birds, but I mean, it is that, obviously. But the Eight of Wands energy is a lot like that, the birds card in Lenormand, and is definitely in this particular read. Got a little something on my card here. All right. Yeah. So it's caused a huge amount of energy here going on. So definitely something secretive within a stable situation or a family tree, and it has caused a disruption or a flurry of energy, maybe because this is not necessarily negative. This is also excitable. There's an excitable energy and maybe a level of gossip going on about this. So yeah, that's how I would read that. All right, so that is the 9s and the 10s for these Pacific Northwest Tarot. And all right, next time we are going to do the pages and the knights. Yeah, we're moving on to the courts. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Bye.